I'm Carl Anthony with AutoSens TV here at AutoSens Detroit 2019 at the Michigan Science Center. We have the privilege today of speaking with Stephanie Hollier, Senior Engineering Manager for Elektrobit. And Stephanie, we've been excited to talk to you here at AutoSens. Tell us a little bit about Elektrobit and tell us a little bit about the company and your mission and your customers.
Elektrobit is a global supplier for embedded and connected software services for the automotive industry. We have focused everything from high-level user experience of an infotainment system right down to the ECU level. And we have about 30 years of development experience with leading OEMs and Tier 1s.
So 30 years, and we talk a lot about validation. That's a theme you're going to hear at AutoSens a lot, and we actually talked about validation off camera. So tell us about validation and why that is so important.
Well, right now, validation is so critical to the automotive industry because it addresses one of the biggest challenges out there of getting the autonomous cars on the road. And what we have today, one of the product lines that Elektrobit is bringing to market is EB Assist, which is a unified validation tool chain that is able to do everything from collect data, tag it. We are able to simulate data, and we can effectively store it and recall it later for later testing.
And so how does this help in terms of developing the modern autonomous car to make it more safer, to make it more effective? How does this approach of yours help?
Well, there's a lot of research out there right now that it says that it really takes about 9 billion-ish miles to validate an autonomous system. So what this tool chain allows you to do is quickly process data, and you can change a logarithm and quickly check to see if it works. So it really shortens development time, and it enables quicker validation to make sure those solutions work.
One of the things that we were talking about was data recording and the concept of the most expensive data is the data that you don't record.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that and where that comes from.
Well, it's one of those fatal flaws of being in validation, right? So if you have a vehicle that is equipped to record this data, it should honestly be running all the time. If the car's on, the data should be recording. There's no such thing as I was just. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that, oh, I was just going down the street to Panera and that perfect storm hit. It's easy at the end of the day to purge data that you don't need, but it's very difficult to recapture something that just happened out of the blue and you missed it. So it should always be recording, so you have that information.
So going forward, what opportunities do you see in this space for Elektrobit? What are some of your future goals as we move forward as an industry?
Well, Elektrobit is really positioned to work as a partner to the OEMs and Tier 1s. We don't focus on getting in a holistic autonomous solution. So our goal here is, like we're doing with the EB Assist, is to really help the industry move forward and enable them with these types of tool chains to get these products on the road safely and quicker.
And in your mind, Stephanie, what are some of the most exciting parts about the work that you do with Elektrobit?
You know, it's really going out there in the field and seeing these products in motion. It's one thing to sit at a development board and watch code run past you every day, and it's a whole other thing to finally sit down in a vehicle and see all that hard work.
So speaking of hard work, seeing it in action, you actually have some things here at your display. So tell us what you have at the display for attendees.
Well, what we actually brought was an example of the EB Assist tool line here. So what it comprises of is a box that you would actually put inside your vehicle, and that's the recorder. And you have like a hypervisor screen, and you can control what's going on. And then we have hardware for simulation, for CAN intake, and things like that. We have a software tool called ADTF, where you can manipulate that data and tag it. And we also have an avenue where you can store that data in the cloud and recall it. So it actually is an entire unified chain to test data. And while it's unified, we design it to be used that way. It's modular. So we can address individual needs that way, and it's also designed to be used with industry standards like AutoSens and Simulink. So it's very versatile.
And how do you go about determining those industry standards? What are the challenges there for you as an engineer to find those industry standards and then meet those industry standards?
Those standards are actually driven by like ISO standards and things of that nature. So we watch all of that data come in, and our aim is not just to meet those standards but to exceed them. It's very important to us as an industry to make sure that we are putting a safe product on the market.
And so you have 30 years of experience, you have a lot of exciting technology in this space. The engineers that you have on staff, the technical professionals that you have on staff, tell us a little bit about your team.
We actually have a very exciting team. We have a lot of ideas out there and a lot of new products being generated to help bring things to market right now. I can see Elektrobit really being a key player in the future to really make some of these things come to fruition for us.
And one of the most interesting questions I think that we always like to ask here at AutoSens is, what is your favorite part about being an engineer?
Again, I think it's really just watching it come to life. It's one thing to have an idea and see it on a whiteboard and try to break it down and see all the lines of code and the hard work and the sweat that goes into this, and then to actually see it in a car and realize it a couple of years later is an amazing feeling.
Indeed. And you have literature here for engineers and other attendees to get their hands on if they want to learn more. I see EB Assist, I see Hardware in the Loop. Any thoughts on the literature that you've brought with you here?
Well, we have several documents that you can take back, and we have some, marketing materials that you can advertise later and bring back to your company and see if this is a product that you can use. We can also set up local demos and things like that, so we can come to you. We also have a demo space in our office where you can come to us and see it in full motion.
Stephanie, it's been exciting to talk to you today. Do you have any last-minute thoughts to add, anything that we may have missed? I would just like to encourage people, all those engineers out there, to just keep thinking outside the box. That's where these ideas come from, those people that can expand and dream. And we never would have imagined 20 years ago that a car would be driving itself, and here we are. So nothing's impossible. Stephanie, from all of us here at AutoSens, we want to wish you a great show and thank you for being with us this year in Detroit.
Thank you.
Carl Anthony with AutoSens TV talking with Stephanie Hollier from Elektrobit, one of our 450 delegates here at AutoSens Detroit 2019. For more AutoSens, like, subscribe, and share.